morning, this is TVS Nightline with me, Douglas Elliott, and let's begin with our top story. The assurance on further development of vernacular schools and the right to use the mother tongue languages as the medium of instructions prove that Gabungan Party Sarawak government has never sidelined the Chinese community as it continues to recognize the United Education Certificate, also known as UEC, and channeling a fund for the cause.
Sekarang automatic 10 million a year for the Chinese school. Automatic. Kita kasih. Dan kita punya education system, we are very lucky. Kita ada banyak approaches di sudut pendidikan kita.
Abang Johari said this after officiating the BATU KAWAH Riverbank Park on Monday. Commenting further, Abang Johari pointed out caring for the welfare of the community through comprehensive manner would help produce competitive young generation who would become precious assets to the state.
Kalau universiti lain sudah recognize, rugi kita tidak recognize. Singapore recognize, Australia recognize, US recognize. Kita recognize ya.
Meanwhile, Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS Chairman Dato' Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg said there will be a master plan to transform BATU KAWAH constituency into a satellite town which stretches to BAU district. Right, sorry, apologize for about the delay. Aims to strengthen the involvement of the Sarawak Muslim community in the economic field in line with the development of digital economy. Sarawak government has allocated 5 million ringgit to the new Sheikh Othman Sarawak Chair in University Kebangsaan Malaysia. The establishment of the chair on the UKM's Islamic Studies faculty is to pursue Sarawak's aspiration on exploring new research fields.
Chief Minister Dato' Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg said the effort aligns with the 12 Malaysia Plan 12 MP and the Sarawak Digital Economy Strategy 2018 to 2022.
Sarawak mempunyai satu dasar yang disebut sebagai Strategi Ekonomi Digital Sarawak 2018 hingga 2022. Sebahagian daripada pendekatan digital ekonomi kita yang bertujuan untuk memperkasa penglibatan masyarakat Islam negeri Sarawak dalam bidang ekonomi secara komprehensif selari dengan perkembangan ekonomi digital pada hari ini. Seterusnya, penyediaan pelan rancangan untuk memperdaya potensi masyarakat Islam di Sarawak terus terlibat dalam bidang perusahaan kecil dan sederhana, pertanian moden serta memperkasa sumber manusia agar dapat dilahirkan pemikir-pemikir Islam yang progresif dan dinamik dari kalangan anak-anak negeri Sarawak.
Named after a prominent ulama from Sarawak, Sheikh Othman Sarawak was born in Kuching in 1863 and is an influential figure in spreading Islam religion in the state. Abang Johari said Sheikh Othman Sarawak's services and contributions in Muslim community in the state should be emulated by today's generation. The establishment of the Sheikh Othman Sarawak Chair comprised of an administrative building, a gallery, and a main hall.
Sarawak is actively negotiating and getting the antiviral medicine molnupiravir for COVID-19 treatment in the state. Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Umbas said this as the medicine now is widely available and approved for use worldwide.
The former State Disaster Management Committee Chairman SDMC also said this was in addition to the expected contributions from the federal government. On October 7, Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said that Malaysia had signed an agreement to procure to buy 150,000 courses of molnupiravir produced by Merck & Co. He had said that research conducted by the firm had indicated that the medicine is able to reduce 50% of hospital admissions. It is also effective toward more infectious variants of COVID-19, including Gamma, Delta, and the Mu. Khairi, however, also stressed that it does not prevent infection and is only beneficial for people who have been infected by COVID-19.
Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS Chairman Dato' Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg said there will be a master plan to transform BATU KAWAH constituency into a satellite town which stretches to BAU district.
Inevitably, he said the development will carve out a new tourism destination in which BATU KAWAH, which will serve as a major route linking Kuching to BAU, Lundu and Sematan.
Dapat laksanakan sebab kata Dato' Sim tadi, negeri kita aman. Kita stable. Tiada puncak kacir. Dan kita dapat membangunkan masyarakat kita yang berbilang kaum, berbilang agama.
Meanwhile, BATU KAWAH incumbent Datuk Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian said BATU KAWAH Riverbank Park project was initially a joint project between the state government and the federal government. However, its construction was halted in 2018 under Pakatan Harapan government.
CN for approve additional funding of 5 million to allow that project to continue.
Sim expressed his appreciation to Abang Johari for breathing new life into the project, thus enabling further development at BATU KAWAH constituency.
In other news, the Sarawak United People's Party (SUPP) have submitted 20 names as candidates to the chairman of Sarawak Coalition Party (GPS). SUPP President Dato' Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian disclosed that 7 of the said figures were incumbents.
Traditionally, SUP always has 26, yeah. So I have submitted the name list to CN, not to CN, to the president of GPS. Yeah. Sometimes I lupa, it's dissolve. I submitted the name list to the GPS president, which is our Dato' Petinggi Abang Jo already.
Sim did not disclose whether there will be new faces or only retaining old candidates.
We wait because what most likely happen is once it's submitted, there's always a discussion. But the incumbent definitely will be contesting. I have said that a long time ago. The 7 incumbent will be contesting.
Sim will be defending the BATU KAWAH seat, whilst the 6 other incumbents, namely Datuk Sebastian Ting, Datuk Lee Kim Shin, Datuk Ding Kwong Hing, Datuk Sri Huang Tiong Si, Datuk Francis Harden Hollis, and Loh Kechiang, will be defending Piasau, Senadin, Meradong, Repok, Simanggang, and Batu Kitang seats, respectively.
It is really inspiring to see how agriculture helped transform livelihoods through AgriCorp. The program, introduced by Sarawak Department of Agriculture, has driven its goal on income generation for farmers, while at the same time providing fresh produce to the community.
Jabatan Pertanian telah pun mengadakan beberapa program lain untuk membantu masyarakat secara keseluruhannya. Contohnya program AgriCorp yang dilaksanakan di hampir seluruh Sarawak, termasuk kawasan kita di Pantai Damai. Dan saya dapati bahawa program ini begitu berkesan, terutama membantu masyarakat yang ada tanah lapang di kawasan rumah untuk bertani secara kecil-kecilan.
He said this after handing over the fertilizer to 12 palm oil smallholders in Pantai Damai constituency on Monday, which include Kampung Sri Kandong, Kampung Jaya Bakti, Kampung Sungai Lumut, and Kampung Sungai Batu. Rahman Junaidi added the department has various assistance programs to help those involved in agriculture.
Kita menyampaikan bantuan baja khasnya untuk pengusaha-pengusaha kelapa sawit daripada kawasan Dun Pantai Damai. Berjumlah seramai 12, kesemuanya ke 12 orang. Tapi yang kita untuk fasa 1 ni, jadi kita jemput untuk mewakili mereka ada 4 orang tadi, telah pun kita sampaikan. Saya mengucapkan segi perayaan dan terima kasih Dr. Tahniah kepada Jabatan Pertanian Daerah Kuching, juga Jabatan Pertanian Sarawak di atas kegiatan mereka sepanjang masa membantu petani-petani kita serta usahawan tani.
And campaigning on social media have the ability to reach larger demographics of voters. Candid interaction with constituents and reaching out to the people in their homes, at work or on the go over social media. An essential for Pantai Damai while campaigning in the new norm.
Datuk Dr. Abdul Rahman Junaidi said social media will be an important campaign tool in the upcoming state election in line with the Election Commission requirement, as any mass gathering, campaign talks or even door-to-door campaigns are not allowed.
Kita akan mencuba, saya dah maklumkan pada jentera kita untuk mematuhi setiap garis panduan yang dikeluarkan oleh SPR, dan kita telah bersedia untuk berkempen melalui media sosial. Kita sedang menunggu pengumuman daripada Suruhanjaya Pilihan Raya Negeri Sarawak mengenai tarikh penting dalam Pilihan Raya Negeri ke-12 yang akan datang. Tarikh yang kita tunggu ialah tarikh penamaan calon dan juga tarikh pembangunan undi.
He added the party is in high gear in preparation for the 12th state election and is awaiting for instructions from the Election Commission on the nomination and the polling dates. Nonetheless, he is confident that Sarawakians would give their support to Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS for the upcoming round of election.
And a special committee have been tasked to undertake the measures to disperse the BKSS 7.0 and the BKSS 7.0 Plus. Both incentives involve a special one-off assistance of 10,000 ringgit to active businesses in Sarawak registered with SASCO.
The committee, comprised of State Economic Planning Unit, State Attorney General's Chamber, State Financial Secretary's Office, State Social Security Organization SOCSO, and 2 state ministries. Small and medium enterprises who have yet to submit their completed documents when applying for the one-off financial assistance are urged to do so following the reopening of the Sarawak online portal till November 13. He added that the committee has approved 46,000 eligible SMEs and micro-enterprises for the financial aid based on the list provided by SOCSO, and payments have also been made to qualified recipients who have submitted complete and valid documents. State Economic Planning Unit Director Datu Dr. Muhammad Abdullah Zaidel said there were still a lot of applicants who had submitted incomplete and invalid documents when the portal was closed on October 22. An email had also been sent to all recipients on October 30, highlighting the required documents for submission and a short instructional video on the manual and guidelines. Companies are required to submit the relevant information and documents through Sarawak online portal at www.sarawak.gov.my.
Dalam episod akan datang, Empresses in the Palace.
如此看来，婉贵人，你好狠心呐！在与不在，本宫进去一看便知。
娘娘，里面实在没有旁人，娘娘真的不必进去看了。
奴婢遵从皇上圣旨，实在不敢放娘娘进去，望娘娘恕罪。
你竟敢阻拦本宫！
娘娘，小下子听得真真的，皇上称连大将军为恩女。娘娘，
Jangan lupa, Isnin hingga Khamis, 9:30 malam, Empresses in the Palace.
公主时日还长，我们走着瞧吧。
TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Pilihan Raya Negeri ke-12 Sarawak, 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data, analisis, berita dan informasi terkini tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri hanya dalam Sarawak Decides di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Malaysia kaya dengan kepelbagaian kaum, seni dan budaya. Keindahan alam semula jadi, khazanah warisan alam, pulau dan pantai serta keenakan makanannya. Semuanya ada di sini. Jom kita cuti-cuti Malaysia. Mempesona.
Welcome back. Now, the Delta AY.4.2 subvariant has been classified as slightly more infectious compared to the original Delta variant announced by Health Minister KAWAH Jamaluddin today. However, the subvariant is still categorized as variant under investigation VUI and has not been defined as variant of concern VOC.
In terms of severity of infection, whether symptomatic or asymptomatic, KAWAH said it is milder. The subvariant will be monitored and investigated closely in the country, he added. Meanwhile, in Sarawak, 13 new COVID-19 cases severely affected the respective individuals with lung infection, causing them to be ventilated. The Sarawak Disaster Management Committee (SDMC) then disclosed a total of 372 COVID-19 cases where infections caused minor symptoms and also asymptomatic. Cumulatively, Sarawak records a total of 244,959 cases. Kuching recorded the most with 145 cases, followed by Miri with 58 cases, Cebu 43, and Bintulu 21 cases. At the same time, 12 new deaths were recorded from November 3 to 6, and there are 21 active clusters currently in the state.
Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee advisor Dr. Sim Kui Han has quashed claims on social media that alleged the heterologous or mix and match booster dose vaccination methods were unsafe. Besides irresponsible, he said the misinformation is putting Sarawakian lives at risk.
He noted that as of November 4, 162,826 individuals across Sarawak have received the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine as a booster dose, with no serious side effects reported. Of the figure, 70% of the recipients had been vaccinated with Sinovac previously, while the remaining 30% were administered with the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. In a Facebook post, he thanked the medical frontliners and Sarawakians for being the earliest state in Malaysia to complete the two-dose vaccination program, and he recommends those eligible for the boosted dose to do so for fear of waning immunity, as highlighted by the World Health Organization (WHO). He pointed out that 597,097 Sarawakians are eligible for the boosted dose between October and November.
And in a bit of a welcoming news, Malaysia is set to open vaccinated travel lanes (VTL) for fully vaccinated travelers as a sign that the country is ready to welcome international visitors. Today, Malaysia and Singapore announced that it will launch a vaccinated travel lane between Changi Airport and KLIA from November 29th. The announcement came after Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob and his Singaporean counterpart Lee Hsien Loong spoke over the phone on Monday.
Under VTL, fully vaccinated travelers will be able to travel between Malaysia and Singapore and be subjected to COVID-19 tests in lieu of serving quarantine or stay-home notice (SHN). Both Prime Ministers also looked forward to restoring travel across the land links as well as in the near future, noting the progress in the ongoing discussions on a similar vaccinated travel scheme across the causeway and the second link, while taking into account the public health situations in Johor and Singapore. In the statement, Ismail Sabri said the VTLs are another important milestone in the long-standing Malaysia-Singapore cooperation. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Lee said he looked forward to the implementation of this travel scheme between Malaysia and Singapore. Singapore Transport Minister told reporters the VTL will commence with 6 daily designated services between the two airports.
And at the same time, Malaysia is ready to discuss with the United Kingdom to open up the vaccinated travel lane for fully vaccinated travellers who wish to enter Malaysia without quarantine. Health Minister KAWAH Jamaluddin said the matter has been conveyed to the related authority and that the VTL timeline will be announced very soon.
A meeting session was held today with the UK Secretary of State of Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs, Elizabeth Truss. KAWAH also disclosed that he had informed Truss on Malaysia's interest to allow fully Malaysian travellers who received the Sinovac vaccine to enter UK without quarantine. Currently, only Malaysian travellers who have received certain types of vaccines are allowed to enter the country without any restrictions. KAWAH was also informed that there is good news from UK that will be announced later, and he hopes that it concerns the recognition of the Sinovac vaccine. For record, Truss arrived in Malaysia on Monday as part of her visit to Southeast Asia after being appointed as the country's foreign secretary last September.
No ceramahs, public speeches or physical campaigns are allowed during the Melaka state election, and these are among the standard operating procedures released for the Melaka state election.
In a media conference after the nomination of candidates today, Election Commission EC Chairman Dato' Abdul Ghani Saleh called on all parties involved in the election to comply with the Standard Operating Procedure SOP to prevent the spread of COVID-19. According to him, all the SOPs have been approved by the Ministry of Health MOH and are listed in EC's portal. He said among the banned activities during Melaka election are house-to-house visits, walkabouts, and the distribution of pamphlets to members of the public face-to-face. However, the SOP stipulated that candidates are allowed to put up banners and buntings during the election, as well as distribute pamphlets in the postbox of residents by observing physical distancing of at least 1 meter. It is also limited to a group of 3 persons for the activity. Candidates are encouraged to use social applications such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, WeChat, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Telegram, and other applications as the channel for campaign purposes. Apart from that, the campaign could also use television networks, local newspapers, and candidates should utilize technology for the campaign in line with the new normal practice following the COVID-19 pandemic. Only candidates who have police permits are allowed to campaign on vehicles using loud hailers at the stipulated time and place to deliver ceramah.
Belanjawan Sarawak 2022 dengan tema Bersatu Membina Masyarakat yang Cekal, Inklusif dan Progresif. Ia dirangka dengan mengambil kira 8 teras strategik bagi mempercepatkan pertumbuhan ekonomi, merangsang pelaburan swasta, menjana pekerjaan menerusi pelaburan awam dan membina ekonomi yang menjana pendapatan dan lebih berdaya saing, iaitu melindungi kehidupan dan punca pendapatan, mengemudi pemulihan ekonomi, memudahkan dan memelihara pemulihan perniagaan, mengubah pertanian dan ekonomi luar bandar, membangunkan modal insan, mempercepatkan penggunaan digital dan data, mengimbangi pertumbuhan ekonomi dengan kelestarian alam sekitar, mempertingkatkan penyampaian perkhidmatan dan kapasiti kerajaan.
Pilihan Raya Negeri ke-12 Sarawak, 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data, analisis, persembahan menarik serta informasi tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri. Berita terkini dan komprehensif. Laporan wartawan di lokasi.
Laporan Odlin Ketedi. Saya Prislajur.
Saya Kaizali Afindi.
Laporan Salasa Safia.
Saya Lukman Muhammad.
Laporan daripada saya Jessica Chun.
Ruben Gomez. Saya Studawi. M. Haris Zainuddin.
Untuk TVS.
Untuk TVS.
Sarawak Decides hanya di TVS saluran 122.
We're back for Nightline, and at least 101 people were killed and 100 more injured in Freetown on Friday after a fuel tanker exploded due to a collision. Authorities arrived at the scene on Saturday morning and found fuel still appeared to be leaking from the wrecked tanker.
Charred corpses and burned-out shells of several vehicles dotted the road in the eastern Freetown suburb of Wellington, where hundreds had gathered. Videos shared online showed people running through clouds of thick smoke at night. Freetown's Mayor Yvonne Aki Sawyer posted on Facebook that victims included people who had flocked at the scene to collect fuel leaking from the crashed tanker, but was later edited to remove the reference. At the same time, Deputy Health Minister Amara Jambai told reporters that the wounded were treated in hospitals and clinics across the capital. Connaught Hospital is currently overwhelmed with the influx of patients, both from the pandemic and the accident. The World Health Organization (WHO) chimed in on their Twitter, promising supplies and specialists in burn injuries.
And following the fuel tanker explosion, a bar owner Muhammad Lamin Mansari lost his livelihood when the explosion killed one of his staff and destroyed the house he built for himself and 10 family members. And since that night, Mansari and his family have been sleeping outside despite being registered for help from the authorities and have yet to receive any assistance.
When incidents happen, we not get no personal help yet, like Cypher, Lidom, Team for It, nothing yet. You know, but they don't come register. We ask me questions there, we don't get anything right now. And if I talk, you know, I get cold, ready for day outside, for see how we secure even the thing that we don't burn. Because people that they come for, they can't tip the zinc pan again. You see, it's really hard for me. The family, everybody displaced. For now, we're not going to help.
Lamin had only recently purchased stocks, furniture and equipment worth over 102,000 ringgit on top of loss over his property.
You know, the first season we just face it, so in December, we like look like that we country, you see. And I just don't buy a brand new machine, you know, musical machine. Lots of drinks from Sierra Leone Brewery, you know, cheers there. Weigh worth of 270 million for particular loss. And one of my staff even died for this incident through this fire will take place at PMB Junction.
And wrapping up Nightline tonight, as China's astronaut Wang Yaping has become the country's first woman to ever walk in space on Sunday. 41-year-old Wang performed the mission with her mission commander for a spacewalk that lasted 6.5 hours.
Tsai Ji-gang, 55, mission commander of Shenzhou 13, opened the hatch of the core cabin Tianhe at 6:51 p.m. Beijing time on Sunday. As of 8:28 p.m. Beijing time, Wang together with Tsai have flown out of the Tiangong space station in the country's latest generation of spacesuits, marking the historic moment in China's space program. Wang reported that she was in good condition when communicating with the ground control. Shenzhou 13 is the second of 4 crewed missions needed to complete China's space station by the end of 2022. During the first of such mission that ended in September, 3 other astronauts stayed on Tianhe for 90 days.
And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. For the latest development, visit our website at TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media. Once again, I'm Douglas Elliott. Good night until then.